Staying with that particular story, the government has contacted families of 25 Kenyans killed or rather who perished in the Ethiopian airline plane crash. Transport CS James Macharia said the government is hosting the relatives so that it can provide them with as much information as possible and also provide them with an environment of privacy. 32 Kenyans are among 157 people killed when Boeing 737 MAX 8 aircraft crashed 6 minutes after takeoff from the Bole International Airport in the capital, Addis Ababa.
These kind of things take time, and so we are seeking for patience in terms of allowing the investigators, the specialists, the experts to carry out this very complex process of investigation. Out of the 32 passengers who were on board, the teams have managed to reach out and talk to 25 families out of the 32. And so we still got about 7 to go.
On the incident, as of yesterday, we have grounded all Boeing B737-8 MAX fleet, which Ethiopian Airlines was operating and which was involved in yesterday's accident, as a precaution safety measure. But this does not mean that the incident was related with defects on this specific fleet. But we have taken this as an extra safety precaution so that the remaining investigation will continue.
Now joined by reporter Elfas Lagat, who's at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. Elfas, good afternoon. Now we've had the Transport CS James Macharia saying that the government has already contacted 25 family members of those who were killed in the Ethiopian airline plane crash yesterday. Now, what other measures has the government taken maybe to make sure that the families have maybe traveled to Ethiopia to identify the bodies of their loved ones?
Well, indeed, thank you, Randy. As you mentioned correctly, of course, the government has contacted 25 families of those who lost their loved ones, and of course, Transport CS James Macharia pointing out early in the day that they will be engaging the 7 other families of those 7 others who died in the horror plane crash that happened in Ethiopia yesterday at about 9 a.m. Of course, Randy, now that statement coming from the CS pointing out that they will be engaging those Kenyans, trying to offer them counseling. And what has been happening for the better part of today is those who lost their loved ones streaming into JKIA. They've been hosted at 4 Points Sheraton, where they were offered counseling and, of course, just going through records to ascertain the details of their loved ones. Of course, there is that the proposition by government to just take some of the members to Ethiopia to try and identify those loved ones who lost their lives in that horror accident that happened in Ethiopia. Of course, Kenya is the worst hit in that incident where 32 Kenyans lost their loved ones. And of course, it has been to and fro by families just trying to get here to try and get counseling, to just register data of their loved ones. Of course, we are trying to still get those persons who lost their loved ones, the victims of this horror plane crash. And of course, we're still waiting upon the authorities. We've heard that they'll be collaborating the Ethiopian authorities and the Kenyan authorities to just make sure that families are taken to Ethiopia to just go and identify their loved ones. Of course, at this stage, the investigations are still going on. According to the airplane, they've pointed out that they've recovered 2 black boxes of that ill-fated Boeing 737. Of course, to this stage, again, we know that the area manager of Ethiopian Airlines have pointed out that they've grounded airplanes of that nature, Boeing 737, similar airplanes of Indonesia for China and also for Ethiopia. So at this stage, it is still morning. It's turning out to be something that has really blown out of scale, going by the numbers of people who lost their loved ones in that incident. So at this stage, we're still trying to get members of families or those who are related to those who perished in that accident to just come up with reports on what do we know to this stage. But for now, we know that investigations are still going on, and PS Koimet is among the delegations sent to Ethiopia, and we will be engaging and hearing from authorities shortly.